Okay, so into this decaying empire steps one man who thinks he can fix it. So let's talk about his huge gamble and how his attempt to save the Soviet Union actually and unintentionally triggered its spectacular end.
In 1985, a new, younger leader comes to power, Mikhail Gorbachev, and he could see the writing on the wall. He knew the USSR was falling dangerously behind the West, especially with computers and technology, and that if they didn't do something radical, they were finished. His big plan had two main parts. First was perestroika, which means restructuring. That was all about trying to fix the broken economy. The second, and this was the real bombshell, was glasnost, or openness. He was going to allow more political freedom and freedom of speech.
Now, this is the most important part to understand. Gorbachev wasn't trying to tear the system down. He was a true believer trying to save it. He thought he could do a controlled renovation, you know? But what happened was he ended up setting off an explosion he couldn't control.
Because once you open that pressure valve, even just a little bit, decades of frustration come roaring out. See, glass-nosed openness didn't just let people complain about the economy. It let them talk about history, about all the dark secrets, and to question the very idea of communist rule. It gave them permission to say everything they'd been thinking for years. And right in the middle of all this chaos, a new figure emerges: Boris Yeltsin. He becomes the president of Russia, which was just one of the 15 Soviet republics, but by far the biggest. And by championing Russia first, he basically created a rival power center inside the USSR, challenging Gorbachev and becoming a hero to people who want to change, like yesterday.
And then, things just started happening fast, incredibly fast. The Berlin Wall falls in '89. A few months later, in March 1990, little Lithuania declares full independence, a huge, gutsy move. But the real knockout punch comes in August '91. Communist hardliners try to stage a coup. It fails miserably, and it completely destroys Gorbachev's authority, leaving Yeltsin as pretty much the most powerful man in the country. The end was now just a matter of months. And the final act was so quiet, almost surreal. On Christmas Day 1991, Mikhail Gorbachev went on TV and resigned. A few moments later, the red hammer and sickle flag was lowered from the Kremlin for the very last time. And just like that, the Soviet Union was over. So poof, the second most powerful country on Earth is gone. What on earth did that mean for the rest of the world?